What's up, friends? Welcome into Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com with Elijah Schmidt and Tyler Brewer behind the cameras today. Alongside Dan Courtwright, I'm Sean Kellerman. Thanks for joining us as we are now mere weeks away from the start of Kansas football. That's right, KU in Long Island, Friday, September 4th. That's the big talk of the town. Of course, we've got fall camp going on, and we're going to talk about some things that went on this weekend in KU athletics because KU soccer is now 2-0. Yeah. They have a home win and a road win, and a really impressive road win yesterday at that. KU volleyball had the alumni scrimmage over the weekend, too. So a lot to talk about in the world of the Jayhawks. We're going to fill you in on everything here on Rock Chalk Sports. We are in this opening segment going to kind of take you around KU Whip Around. We had the event at Corinth Square, Prairie Village on Friday night. Got a chance to catch up with a few of the guys, and perhaps we'll play those interviews for you a little bit later in the week. But Corinth Square kickoff was a lot of fun. We'll talk about that, talk about KU soccer, KU volleyball, as I mentioned. Volleyball scrimmage, man, the alumni. That's always fun seeing those goats get back out there. Cassie Waite, one of my favorites, she was out there. Of course, Anise Havili, All-American. She is on the staff now. She played on the other side, and some others too. So KU volleyball continues to honor the greats of old, and then they get it started exhibition style this upcoming Saturday against Creighton.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, but going out there to Horish, me and Trey Myers were out there, and just seeing Kelsey Payne standing underneath her jersey up there, and Anise Havili, her jersey was up there too. I mean, it was just such a cool thing to experience and see. You had Addie Berry as a coach on the sideline. Ray Bouchard was out there too. So it was a lot of fun, man. And the alumni gave them a run for their money. They beat them the KU beat them in straight sets,
as generally is the case.
But in the third set, the alumni was, I might get this wrong, but the alumni was up by like 12-4 at one point. Like, it was insane. And then KU volleyball managed to chip their way back, and they beat them 25-23 in the last set. But the alumni just got on a roll there in the third set, and Kelsey Payne looked good. All of those girls looked really good. Caroline Bien, and granted, a lot of them are younger.
Cameron Turner's out there.
Yeah, Cameron Turner's out there. You have a lot of them maybe the oldest player that they had was probably about my age, 28 years old, probably, maybe 30. Didn't get a lot of play, but no, it was still a ton of fun, man. And it was cool to see all those girls come back and just they love wearing that crimson and blue, and it looked like the KU volleyball team was having a lot of fun too. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Shocker that the All-American freshman preseason Big 12 freshman of the year is going to be good. Taylor Stanley is going to be very good. She is unbelievable.
Yeah, Taylor Stanley, one of the highest rated players to ever come to KU. Again, 6'3", and she can put it down. She's listed as a pin hitter. Obviously, it depends on, I don't know, it seems like they've changed that the past 5, 6, 7 years. They used to be outside hitters and middle blockers, and now, pin hitter is a big thing. And a lot of these girls, even if they're, kind of hybrid players like Logan Bell, I think is still listed as a pin hitter, and she'll be spending some time at DS. But yeah, Taylor Stanley, pride of Blue Valley Southwest, she is going to be awesome. And yeah, KU volleyball, a part of the KU fall sports season that we're stoked for. And then soccer, just is this rude? Just running a train through Missouri State? 7-0 yesterday. We'll talk about that as well. Next segment, though, we're going back to the KU football building. We're going to hear from a trio of KU tight ends. That's right. It's the law firm of Butler, Cure, and Bruhn. Jailen Butler comes over from Old Dominion. Leyton Cure and Carson Bruhn, of course, are returning players for KU. I've said this a lot, but Carson Bruhn is a favorite of mine just because I really like his skill set. It sucks how the season ended for him last year with the injury to his foot. Excited to see where he can take this KU offense, too. And Andy Kotelnicki likes working those tight ends, so we'll talk more about that next segment. We're going to hear from the head man himself, Coach Lance Leipold, following that. Coach Leipold spoke on Friday. Didn't have time to squeeze it in on Friday, but we'll get that to you in full here on Monday's Rock Chalk Sports. Case the Mondays after that, Dan, what do we got?
I got a lot of stuff on here. Cincinnati, just the city in general is on here because somebody's making a move out to Hollywood. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I have any other rookie who debuts for the rest of their life in Major League Baseball. Because,
oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. And I do not want to give too much credit here because we have a Cardinals fan behind the camera right now, but Joshua Baez, my goodness.
Yeah, I know. He went 0 for 5 on Saturday.
He did. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough scene.
I don't know if he's allowed to. No, Aaron Rodgers is on here. Dan Orlovsky. I wanted to get into this. I saw this last week, and I didn't have time because I just don't really like Dan Orlovsky, but it got so much play on like Twitter and people were clowning on him so hard. I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. And Dan Orlovsky, he released a list of his quarterback rankings for like quarterback traits that he sees. So he gave his top 10 quarterbacks for all 7 different traits, which is like decision making and rushing and just a bunch of different things. It might be the worst list that's ever been compiled in the history of lists.
So I'm excited
it's unbelievable. I'll give you a little bit of a teaser here. He has Justin Herbert as a better rusher than Jalen Hurts.
Was he doing it as a joke?
No, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Patrick Mahomes isn't number 1 on any of these. Like it's the most unbelievable. Granted, and a lot of people are thinking, I'll get into it more, but since his agent is with the CAA, which is the Creative Arts Agency, Josh Allen and I believe Justin Herbert are both on that same agency. And so that's been kind of a lot of things with Dan Orlovsky is that he tries to push CAA guys with his agency more so because he has that platform. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just wanted to dive into it because it's something. It's something for sure.
Yeah, Dan Orlovsky, he finds his way into the news, man. I'll tell you that much.
He certainly does.
Following Case of the Mondays, we're going to hear from a couple more Jayhawks. Calvin Clements and Amir Herring spoke to the media over the weekend. I had a chance to catch up with Calvin on Friday night, and, man, he is ready to take the next step, lead this KU offense from a quarterback protection standpoint. And then we're going to bring in the TCU Horned Frogs outlook as TCU will be KU's opponent. Your favorite holiday, if I'm not mistaken.
It is my favorite holiday.
Yeah, the spookiest of all the holidays, in my opinion.
It is scary. I just watched a scary movie last night, by the way, just to
ruffle the feathers a little bit?
Yeah, we did it a little bit just because I was like, I want fall to be here. So we watched it. We watched Obsession, by the way. If you haven't seen Obsession, you should watch it. I don't know why that's so crazy to me. Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
Why is that so crazy?
Because Christmas is the best holiday.
No, but Halloween is the kickoff of the holiday season. That's why I like it so much because you have the rest of the
yes.
You have the rest of the holidays in front of you. When Christmas ends, there's such a melancholy effect on me after Christmas ends, and same with it's just like New Year's too, because then you're like, oh man, I gotta wait until next year. Now it's just cold.
We've talked about this a ton. We have, but to me, there's so much excitement when the fall comes around because you see a leaf fluttering by you, and you're just excited for the crispness in the air, and football is back and all that. And to your point, yes, October is awesome. We're actually going to have a little Halloween get together here at Kansas Nation in the month of October. But you got Halloween, and then you kind of just glide and just are on cloud 9. Even though it's cold out, even though you might have some bad weather as you get closer to Christmas, you got all those holidays that are coming up, and that's really exciting. And then January 1st hits, bam, Texas Tech loses to Oregon 23-0, and you're just depressed. You got basketball, which is awesome, but now you got to start your car 20 minutes before you go out because it's so cold out, and you got to shovel your driveway, and I like snow, but I don't like those elements, obviously. And then you're basically just praying to God that spring shows up so that you can get spring training and March Madness and all that. But yeah,
that's why
I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm with you. No, it's a great holiday. It's great, but it's not better than Christmas.
In terms of holidays, it's not better than Christmas, but in terms of being my favorite because of everything that's built around it, which is it is the official kickoff of the holiday season, which is October 31st until December, I'll say 26th, really. Because, Boxing Day, right?
Boxing Day?
You never heard of Boxing Day?
Well, what's that?
It's British.
Is that December 26th?
Yeah, I think Boxing Day, I think it's like, so they celebrate over in Britain, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you might want to look this up, but they celebrate Boxing Day on December 26th, so all the working class people, usually they would work on Christmas and work in, restaurants and different things during Christmas to serve all the rich people. And then the 26th, they would get off. And so they would celebrate Boxing Day on the 26th. Am I right about this or no?
I'm looking it up right now, and it says it was once a day to donate gifts to those in need, but it has evolved to become a part of Christmas festivities. You were right about certain elements of it.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
something that originated in the United Kingdom and celebrated in several Commonwealth nations.
See?
Canada,
Boxing Day.
Australia, New Zealand.
And
Anyway,
then they all fight each other. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Anyway, we say all that to say KU will be facing TCU on October 31st.
They will, yeah.
And we're going to be talking about the Frogs later in the show. Hey, as we move from the heat of summer into football season, now is the time to make sure that your lawn finishes the season strong. The work you do in this month of August and in September lays the foundation for a thicker, healthier, greener lawn next spring. That's where the experts at Custom Lawn and Landscape come in. From late summer fertilization and weed control to overseeding, aeration, and landscape enhancements, they'll create a plan that's right for your yard. Their team knows exactly what Kansas City and Lawrence lawns need as the seasons change. Don't wait until the leaves start falling. Get ahead of the season now. Enjoy a lawn that's healthy today and ready to thrive next year. Call Custom Lawn and Landscape today or visit them online at customlawn.com to schedule your fall lawn care program. That's Custom Lawn and Landscape, your partner for a beautiful lawn in every season. Yeah, KU football out at Corinth Square. We also saw a couple KU volleyball players out there, Reese Patak and Grace Nelson, and those two are expected to have great years for Kansas as well. KU really deep, I would say, really good size. KU volleyball, middle blocking, outside hitter, pin hitter, whatever you want to call them. Grace Nelson, third-year player. I think she's going to have a really big impact, even though she wasn't one of the few players that got the preseason recognition, like the Reeses and like Taylor Stanley, who we discussed a little bit earlier. But they were out there. We had food trucks. We had inflatables, all sorts of great things. I had some conversations with Calvin Clements, Cole Ballard, Lance Leipold, Dan Fitzgerald. If you missed any of those, check out our socials at the Kansas Nation, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Kansas Nation on Facebook. It was a toasty one, but Alex Daggy, Bethany Bowman, and I were out there at the Sports Radio 810 tent and got to chat with a lot of you guys out there. So appreciate you coming by to say hey. A lot of fun to kick off the season. Coach Leipold, Coach Fitz, you had Doug Girard, you had Travis Goff, of course, all emceed by Brian Haney, and then you had 6 KU football players as well who got to give their thoughts on the upcoming season. But the buzz is in the air. There's no doubt about that. And I asked Coach Leipold, I said, hey, let's not kid ourselves. Every start of a football season, we have this excitement, right? So I asked him, what is specific to this group and making it exciting for you? And he said something that we've talked about often, the unknown. He said, I think the unknown is exciting because, it all starts with quarterback, and to a certain degree, you knew what you had in Jailen Daniels. And I think Coach Leipold, it's exciting for him knowing that there's still a battle going on in the quarterback room. Both quarterbacks were out there, by the way, and Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall, 2 of the 6 players that were out there. But I think we share that sentiment in terms of there's a lot of new players, but it's kind of, a new chapter post Jailen Daniels. And we have a lot of guys. Calvin Clements said he thinks that this team is being undervalued, underrated by some national people. So, now they got to go out and prove it. But I think that adds a little edge to this upcoming season.
Yeah, I think so. I think that from what we're seeing, it's all positive. But from an outsider's perspective, when you lose Jailen Daniels, when you lose Emmanuel Henderson, when you lose your starting running backs, when you lose Enrique Cruz to the NFL, I mean you're losing a lot of guys from last year's team, namely at the quarterback position, which is arguably the most important position on the football field. Yeah, I mean you're gonna probably assume that they're going to get worse. I mean, I've made that mistake a number of different times where I go like, oh yeah, well, this team lost their quarterback, so they're going to be a lot worse this year. And that's not always the case. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jailen Daniels, by the way, who played really well for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Friday. 10 for 15, I want to say, for like 114 yards and a rushing touchdown. But what we're seeing from Cole Ballard, from Isaiah Marshall, is the fact that both of these guys are and I don't want to use the word serviceable because I don't even feel like that's fair to them. I think serviceable is not a good enough word. I think these guys are going to be very good quarterbacks, both respectively just what they do good, right? Isaiah Marshall he's really good being flushed out of the pocket, really nice at scrambling and making plays on his legs, whether that be throwing the ball or running the ball. Cole Ballard, from everything that we've heard, has been ice cold under pressure no matter what, right? And he's got really nice field vision, goes through his reads, goes through his progressions, at an appropriate rate, being able to see everything that's out there. And then with the transfers you have coming in at the wide receiver position with Nick McMillan and Najee Cox, both of those guys I think are going to be really nice pieces to this. Cam Pickett's going to be massive this year for Kansas. You have Dylan Edwards and Yasin Willis at the running back position. I mean, you look up and down. Again, if you're just a random fan of another team and you know a little bit about Kansas, all you know pretty much is the fact that they lost Jailen Daniels and they have a new quarterback. Well, you look at everything else that's happened with Andy Kotelnicki coming back, right? With Trey Leyton deciding to come back as well. With Jalen Todd and Nasir Alexander going into year 2 as starters, right? With Taylor Davis holding it down at the safety spot. With Corey Gordon and Christian Pritchett and all these guys in the safety room. With the linebackers being beefed up. With Blake Harrell coming back for his second year of being an impact player. I mean, there is a lot to really look forward to. And again, it's unknown if you're a layman, if you will, if you don't know a lot about KU football. But if you're like us who go out to the practices and watch these guys and, you know, you're in every press conference and you're hearing everything great talking about these guys, I think there's a lot of stuff to really look forward to, and the optimism continues to grow. Now, it's like this every year, right? I'm always, you know, you ask me mid-July, I go, I don't know, we might make a bowl game this year. And then all of a sudden, you get to about a week out from week 1, and I'm like, yeah, we're 12 wins, we're going to the college football playoff. Like, that's just the way it happens every single year. But, again, I'm really confident in these guys.
Yeah, and again, 2 years ago, it was really easy to get excited about Kansas football because you're coming off a 9-win season, and you had a great group of guys, a great core coming back in a senior class, and it just didn't work out going 5-7. You had some crucial mistakes at the ends of games, and some of that leaked into last year. You know, last year, Kansas, and let's be honest, Kansas had to pay Jailen Daniels a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So you weren't quite able to get the talent around him with, you know, the allotted funds that you have. Now you're not paying that man that much money. So you're stronger, theoretically, everywhere else. And I think Kansas truly is at the linebacker spot. I think you're more deep at the wide receiver spot. You know, I think there's some questions to be asked in the secondary, but I like where Kansas is at up front on the defensive side as well, and certainly running backs. I think Kansas should take a step up as well. So, a lot to talk about with KU football. We mentioned KU volleyball, how they had their alumni match. That was a lot of fun. Swept the alumni in straight sets, but kind of, you know, kicked off the season. They'll be up Saturday against Creighton in a top 15 matchup exhibition, but it will be at Horsch a week from last Saturday, I should say, this upcoming Saturday, 1 p.m. at Horsch Family Volleyball Arena. And then KU soccer, last week, of course, they started the season with a 2-0 win over Utah State. Yesterday, they're out in Springfield for a hot one, and they tie a program record for goals scored with 7 goals scored. 7-0 KU over Missouri State. Nate Lee talking about how he was proud of the team, not just because of the heat, but said the team kept the pedal to the metal, essentially, and they were able to go out in the second half and continue to battle. Caroline Castens had a couple goals. I don't know if you saw her first one, but it was clearly an attempted pass.
Yeah.
But she put it right on the goal, and it ended up sailing over the goalkeeper and into the net. And then again, Castens would score again. But, a lot of fun. Livy Moore scored late. Faith Johnston had a couple goals as well. KU outshot, Dan, Missouri State 20-1, 12-1 in corners. So really, you know, Coach Lee is never going to say this too outright, but it was a dominant performance from Kansas soccer. Again, 7 goals, incredible. And now KU heads to Columbus to take on Ohio State Thursday at 4.
Yeah, and that should be a lot of fun too. But, I mean, when you look at this, when you look at the momentum that Kansas is coming off of with the 2-0 victory against Utah State, who was a really good Utah State team who kind of gave Kansas a little bit of trouble there at the beginning. Kansas completely tilted the field, and they completely tilted the field in this one too, 7-0. I mean, you had Faith Johnston with 2, Caroline Castans with 2. I mean, how often are you going to see Caroline Castans score 2 goals in a game? Probably not a lot, just because of the fact that the position that she plays, right? She's primarily a defender, and she's really dang good at it, and she's good at, you know, coming up, and again, you know, she's really nice at assisting. I think she led the Big 12 last year and also has the Kansas program record for assists in a season. So really impressive stuff from Caroline Castans being able to put 2 in the net. Faith Johnston her 2 goals were in the span of 3 minutes. She scored one in the 85th minute on a cross from London to Finney, who also had a goal in this one. And then she had another one in the 88th minute to close it out, win it 7-0. Like you said, 20-1. I mean, that's so impressive in terms of, shots. But Sophie Daw has been so good.
Yeah.
All throughout her entire career, but she completely pitched a shutout. She had 3 saves in the game against Utah State. Had a save in this one as well. But, defensively, when you have Carolyn Castans back there, just in girls' faces, when you have Sophie Daw, who is just a brick wall in front of that goal, Kansas right now, in the 2 games that they've played, I guess, and we can talk a little bit about, the Iowa game, because technically Kansas scored 2 goals and then Iowa scored no goals. That's 11 goals to none. How impressive is that, right? How impressive is that?
And
now,
it's not exactly against.
This isn't. They're not playing Missouri.
Emporia State.
Oh, come on. Emporia State. Shout out to Emporia State soccer, by the way.
Yes.
The 2019 MIAA champions. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's still so impressive. Technically, officially, Kansas has scored 9 goals to 0 goals. But, if you look at it holistically, it's 11 goals to 0 goals. And it's going to be a tough one, obviously, going up against Ohio State. But at the same time, these are really good teams, right? You faced off against Iowa in an exhibition match. That was a really good team. You faced off against Utah State, who, we talked about it. Last year, they brought back a lot of girls from last year. And last year, they closed out the season with a 1-1 draw against BYU, who was also a tournament team, right? So that was a really nice program. And the Missouri State, they're not great by any stretch of the imagination, but putting up 7 goals against anybody is just absolutely ridiculous.
You know who would be really proud of KU's soccer performance so far this season? The Hall of Famer, Bill Self. You know why? Because he always says, if the other team can't score, you can't lose. And that's where true. Kansas is at right now. So they would have won with 1 goal yesterday. They score 7-0 over Missouri State. And now a tough test, like I said, in Columbus. That'd be a lot of fun for the girls going to take on Ohio State, obviously a nationally recognized brand. That's going to be Thursday at 4 o'clock. We'll tell you all about it here on Rock Chalk Sports. After this, though, we're going back to Merconic Auditorium. We're going to hear from some members of KU Football. That's next on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. You know the feeling. The Fieldhouse gets loud, the chant starts low, and the Jayhawks bring the energy. That is Lawrence. Ameritrust Credit Union thinks your money deserves that same feeling. A team in your corner that's pulling for you, win or lose, season after season. Financial well-being isn't just something they offer, it's why they exist. First car, first home, first business, whatever's next in your money story, they are right around the corner at 6th and Wakarusa in West Lawrence. Real people making real decisions locally. Ameritrust Credit Union is the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Stop by the branch or visit Ameritrust.org, federally insured by the NCUA. Our new partners here at Kansas Nation. Shout out to Tim Mock and everybody locally, Ameritrust Credit Union.
Christian Brown.
That's true. Christian Brown, financial well-being with Ameritrust. Check out that Time Out with Tyshawn Taylor podcast if you haven't yet, where he sits down with CB right here in the Kansas Nation studio. Let's hear from 3 KU tight ends now as we continue our KU football fall camp coverage. First, a transfer over from Old Dominion who's got a really nice-looking body for a tight end, right? The dude is built, didn't catch a ton of passes at Old Dominion, but figures to be a big part of this KU offense. Jailen Butler spoke last week.
All camp's going good. Just take one play at a time, one practice at a time, and just getting better and just perfecting the little technique stuff to get better each and every day.
Leyton was just talking about the competition in the tight end room. What's that been like?
I think the competition is really good. Iron sharpens iron. I think with us being a lot of older guys, I think we've helped each other grow in different ways, and just competing each and every day is going to make all of us better.
When you think back to the spring, kind of getting your feet wet a little bit, where do you feel like you're taking kind of the next step now that camp's around and you've been kind of in the program for a while?
Yeah, I think knowing the offense now has helped me a lot, just being able to play faster than what I was in the spring, just getting used to the new offense, stuff like that. So I think playing faster now is just giving me more confidence to go out there and make the plays.
Coach Coleman, you talked about your time at Old Dominion and how you're used there and how he feels you can be a bigger passing threat. Do you feel like that's an untapped part of your game?
Yeah, I think that was an untapped part of my game. At Old Dominion, the tight ends there were used more as like fullbacks and stuff like that. But with Coach K's versatility in the passing game and just with tight ends in general, it's going to be really awesome, and I'm excited to see what he does with that.
What's it been like for you getting to learn Coach K's offense?
I won't lie, in the beginning it was really difficult, but I think I've just adjusted. You know, we do a lot of voiceovers and things of that nature just to be able to understand the offense in and out, so I think that's helped me a lot.
Piggybacking off of what he was talking about the receiving, you guys get to work with the quarterbacks. What have you seen from them, and how's that been going?
Yeah, I think the quarterbacks are doing a great job as far as just being confident each and every day. I think they're very great vocal leaders, which is very important in the quarterback position. But yeah, I think overall they're doing an amazing job.
In terms of like improving as a pass catcher, how do the coaches here go about working on that with you to make sure that you still can improve there and really reach your potential?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just repetition, just being able to catch a lot of balls. With me, catching balls before practice, after practice, and just in between. So whenever I can get a chance, I'm just making sure I can be able to catch balls to make plays out there on the field.
And for you guys that are pass catchers, what's it like when you got a quarterback competition going on and there are different guys with different throwing styles and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think just with the routes on air and stuff like that, they switch a lot. So I think just catching from both is honestly a good thing because you never know what may happen. So I think it's just a good opportunity just to catch from both of them routes on air.
Jailen, as you guys go through fall camp, talk about a guy or two on defense that's a tough matchup for you.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my guy, Leroy Harris. He's great on the edge. He has a lot of physical mentality with him. I got to give a shout out to Trey Leyton as well. They're two great defensive players, and I think they're going to make a great impact with our team this year.
You had to try to block Leroy off the edge a couple times.
Yeah. I think that's a great matchup with me and him. He gets me better, I get him better. So I think that's going to help us in the long run during the season.
Could you kind of, some of the coaches talk about in the tight end room is you guys got a lot of different guys with different skill sets. Can you kind of help us understand like the strengths of the guys and who maybe is good at what?
Yeah, I think we all have an overall good understanding of just what a tight end is in the running game and block game. Like Carson can do it all, I can do it all, Leyton can do it all, Carter can do it all. So I think we'll see what Coach K does with the offense and just putting us in different positions to be successful. But I think we all do a great job in the run game, pass game, and even in pass pro.
What did you think about practicing in the stadium today?
I think the stadium's awesome. That was my first time actually being in the stadium since being here, but I think it's awesome. I can't wait for the fans to come out and see us this year.
Individually, what have some of your strengths been throughout your career? What can fans expect?
I think they can expect just a nasty mentality just in the run game. And with Coach K's offense this year, I think you'll be able to see me more in the pass game and just being just a mismatch out there against DBs and linebackers as well.
And when you're out there, you haven't had a ton of opportunity to catch a lot of passes at Old Dominion. Like you said, you guys were used as fullbacks a lot. What do you think was attractive to the KU coaches about you with the recruiting process? What made them look at you and say, we want that dude?
Yeah, I think just being able to see my background with basketball, just being able to show that I am athletic on the pass game. I've showed through practice and things of that nature that I can run routes, and when given the opportunity, I can make plays.
Sure. Leyton was joking about how you guys are fighting to get 13, 14 personnel potentially. I don't know if the wide receivers would like that, but has it been fun in the tight end room, kind of talking with those guys about opportunity and kind of competition?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we all get each other better. We will see different personnels out there for sure with a lot of tight ends. And I think, we will show different skill sets throughout the season on what we can do.
You mentioned Coach K's offense. Was there ever a time when you were first learning it where he said something and you just were like, I have no idea what he just said, or I got no idea where I'm supposed to be? And how did you kind of adjust to that?
Yeah, I think just with the voiceovers that we do.
Yeah.
With Old Dominion, we were more just a signal type of operation, but here it's more pro style. You're in a huddle every play. So that was something to get adjusted to, but I think I've done a good job with just listening to the coaches each and every day and just getting better.
And how fun is it having Coach K? I mean, we see him in here. It's a blast listening to him come in here, and just great personality. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, Coach K is a great coach. He's a ball knower, so I think he just has a great understanding of his offense and what we have to do to be successful in the season. So, yeah, I'm excited to see that.
And last thing, Coach Lubick, what do you like about him, and kind of talk about his football mind?
Yeah, Coach Lubis is a great coach. He's coached for a long time, so he knows the ins and outs of football. And I think just his understanding helps us understand, like, when we get on the field, the little minute details to be able to be successful.
That's incoming KU tight end Jailen Butler. I know that a lot of people are excited about the tight end room, but I think he's going to have a special skill set, just a big, strong dude. And again, he's new to the program, as Carter Moses is. Carter Moses got some preseason recognition, but those guys could be impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at Jailen Butler, I mean, the stats, if you just look at the box scores, 9 receptions, 59 yards, and a touchdown last year. You go, that's not great. But you look at the number of snaps that he played and the impact that he had on the run game in terms of his run blocking ability and his perimeter blocking ability is just incredible. They didn't utilize tight ends as much as somebody like a regular person, let alone Andy Kotelnicki, utilizes his tight ends as well. And we've seen him out of practice. I mean, he's a really good route runner, has really nice hands, and I think he's going to be an impact guy on both sides of the ball. But it's so important that you get him from a place like Old Dominion where they focused on the pass blocking first. And I think that's going to be so important because he's going to be a multifaceted guy to where he gets that down first, going to be helpful, essentially like a second or just like a sixth offensive lineman. But then he's going to be going out and catching some balls for you as well.
Leyton Cure in his third year in the program, final year of eligibility. He also spoke last week at the football building.
I'd say the offense is looking pretty well right now. We're really competing out there with the defense. A lot of competition just everywhere on the field, and I think that's going to really help us in the long run.
Having the faces in the tight end room, you're one of the older guys, or maybe the oldest guy, I think, now.
Yeah.
What's that like, and are you taking more of a leadership role with those guys?
Yeah. Our tight end group is old in general. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that are in their 5th years, or me personally in my 6th year, and then you got Carson who's going in his 3rd, and then we got Jack and Kevin who are true freshmen. So it's an older group than what a usual tight end room would be. So. I would say I've stepped into a leadership role, but like it's very easy in that room because everybody kind of knows what is expected of us. We're pretty high character people in the room, so it doesn't make it very hard on anybody to know what to do, what's right, and we all kind of hold each other to a pretty high standard. Like preparation is really big in our room, and we've told that to the freshmen. It's like you got to know what you want to do if you want to be able to play. So, the new guys have been great. I think I told you guys during the spring they've fit the mold of what we were looking for in guys, just high character people, and really excited to see what they are going to be like this year.
Kevin wasn't here in the spring, right?
Kevin wasn't here in the spring. He got here in the summer. Really interesting guy. I enjoy him a lot. He's brought a lot of young energy to our room, so he's a lot of fun to be around, and it's a lot of fun to see him make some plays out there.
With the way Coach Kotelnicki likes to use his tight ends, I mean, is that something new for you? Obviously, being that tight end and having him do all that different creative stuff.
Yeah, a little bit different. I'd say a couple years back with Coach Grimes, we used the tight ends a little bit, but I'd say we're more of a blocking attack than passing. And then last year with Coach Z, it was kind of flip of the opposite of we were more on the pass game than on the blocking side. So right now I'd say it's a little bit of a mix of both with Coach Kotelnicki. He's not afraid to get into a bunch of different personnels and put us in different positions to where he thinks we can succeed. And we just got to keep putting the film out there of getting more tight ends on the field. I mean, the wide receivers probably don't like it a lot, but like we would love to go 13 or even 14 personnel if we could do it. And yeah, if we keep putting that stuff on film, it'd make it really hard for him to keep us off the field.
Having gone through so many fall camps before, what have you learned about like what it takes to get the most out of this part of the year?
Fall camp is a grind. Everywhere I've been, it's been a tough thing to go through. So just kind of keeping your head down and kind of seeing it as not just trying to survive to get through fall camp, but try and thrive. Most guys can get into a mindset of like, man, this is tough. Like, and it is, but you just can't have that mindset. You got to go out there and attack every day and try and find the little tedious things of like, where can I get better today? Not necessarily some guys, like the younger guys, can make very big jumps in their first fall camp, whereas like if you're an older guy, maybe it's just perfecting the small things that can make you successful on plays. So I'd say that's kind of where I've seen myself grow the most is those first fall camps. It was really big jumps just because maybe I was learning the offense, so everything was coming very big to me, like, oh, I'm figuring out the plays now and stuff like that. But now it's been very different of just finding small things that would help me be successful on different techniques and stuff like that.
What was it like being back in the stadium today?
It was really cool. Yeah, first time back in the stadium. The new side looks awesome. I'm really excited for what it's going to be like when it's finished, even though it'll be after I've left. But I'll definitely have to come back and see the full thing. But it's gonna be a pretty cool spot this year.
Did it add to was it nice for a change of pace to get over there on your 9th practice?
Yes, it was. Yeah, definitely a good change of pace. We've been at the practice fields the majority of fall camp, so I think that kind of brought a little bit of energy in today. Like, hey, we're practicing in the stadium. Like, this is where we're going to be playing games this year. So I think guys definitely attacked that today. Like, hey, this is where it's all going to happen.
How different does it feel?
It feels really different. I was landing up on KOR, lining up and standing on top of the Big 12 Monster logo, which was, a little bit different this year. But, I think it makes it more real to where it's like, all right, we're getting around that time of year where it's about time.
Did the construction guys stop for your practice, or were they doing their thing?
I think I would like to think that they stopped and maybe watched a little bit. I didn't look up there and see any of it, but I'm sure they maybe took a couple peeks. I mean, they might be kind of sick of us because sometimes I feel like we're in the way when we're running up to the practice fields and they're trying to haul in all that asphalt and tar and stuff like that. But I think they maybe took a couple peeks and watched a little bit of practice.
With this being your last fall camp, obviously you said fall camp's a hard thing to go through, but are you kind of soaking it all in right now and kind of,
Yeah, soaking it all in. It's a little bit sentimental, but at the same time, I've been telling people it's like fall camp is probably the toughest thing of the year. So once it'll be a little bit tougher once we get to games and stuff like that, where it's like, these are 12 opportunities left to play football. But I think, it'll be sentimental when I finish it up this fall camp. But just soaking it all in, trying to enjoy it as much as possible, and just kind of be there for my teammates and help people along that way.
That's Leyton Cure, kind of a 4-horse race in the tight end room to see who's going to get the most snaps. And one of the guys who's heavily involved, of course, had that foot injury toward the end of last year, is Carson Bruhn. He is a redshirt sophomore, 6'6", really good size, good pass catching ability, good route running ability, a really great future for Carson Bruhn. Let's hear a little bit from him over at Merconic Auditorium.
Just how have you seen fall camp go for yourself, but also your position group?
Yeah, fall camp's been good. I think the new cycles, the 3 days on, 1 day off have been good. We got a lot of competition in our room for sure. Me, JB, Jailen Butler, Carter Moses, and Leyton Cure, all great tight ends. We all have something to prove and something to give to the team for sure. And for me, it's been amazing. I think spring coming off the foot was good. I was just kind of rolling back into it. Fall camp, I really hit the ground running. Over the summer, we worked a lot on route running, hands, catching the ball, that type of stuff, and I've been able to show that in fall camp, and it's been good.
If you would, like those four guys, where do your skill sets compare and contrast?
Yeah, we're all like very similar, very different at the same time. So it's interesting. Like you go, Leyton Cure, like very fast, speedy guy, quick twitch. Obviously, I'm a larger human being, more of an inline tight end. I like to get down and dirty, but I can run routes, catch the ball. JB is similar to Leyton, where he's a faster tight end, plays more split out, great receiver. But it can also block. Like he can get his nose in there. He comes from ODU. They run a lot of insert, a lot of counter, that type of stuff. So he's great at pulling, that type of stuff. And Carter is also a good big body inline tight end. Can catch the ball, can stretch the field. He's been great with down blocks and wide zone and that type of stuff. Front side of gap schemes. Been great.
With Coach K and the way that he utilizes his tight ends, obviously with all those skill sets that you said, I mean, has that been kind of fun to kind of learn the way that he utilizes those tight ends in his kind of offensive scheme?
Yeah, it's been good. He's got like nuggets everywhere you go. Like you run on one play and he's like, if you do this, you get this, and you do that in the field and it's like you're wide open, or like you like got to fit your backside hand on a wide zone, and he just got all these nuggets for us. Like he has a huge line of great tight ends that he's coached, and I'm just excited to be one of those.
I don't remember if we talked to you about this already, but is it fun having him back, given that he recruited you and you had probably a vision of how college was going to be like with him as your offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it's definitely good to have him back. I'm excited to see him back at KU, back in the Crimson and Blue. So I was really excited when that news came out, and so were my parents and my family and everybody that knew me.
I think he told a story about going to see you in Greece when he recruited you. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. He sat right next to my little brother. My little brother was super excited to be sitting next to a Division I football coach, and so I think that's what he remembers the most. But, yeah.
Leyton just said that with Coach K back, it's been a mixture of both, working with run blocking and catching the ball as well. What is your view on that, and is it maybe different from what you guys were doing last year, or have you incorporated new things?
Yeah, Coach K expects us all to be every down tight ends, is what he calls it, being able to play from first down all the way to fourth down and be able to do everything possible in our power, as well as running 12, 13 personnel, putting us all out there. We had a few of those this week where we running the tight zone, inside zone, mid zone, but also being able to run play action pass out of 13 personnel and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a big expectation of being an every down tight end, being able to do everything. But I think once you can do that, there's nothing that can stop you. So,
what's it been like seeing some of the younger guys in the room, like Kevin and Jack, go through their first fall camp?
Yeah, they're great dudes. They're so funny. Kevin's an awesome guy. I really enjoy being around him. He's definitely someone that wants to stick his nose. He wants to be physical, coming off the ball. Jack has been here in the spring, and now he's in fall camp, and he's really getting the hang of it, really getting the hang of the offense and the calls. But, yeah, those younger guys, I remember my first camp, it's not easy, so I'm just trying to help them through it, coach them through it. A bad practice doesn't mean your whole day has to be bad. You just got to learn from it and move on.
Do they come to you for advice about that kind of stuff, like being their first time and you've been here several years now, or do you go to them and explain to them, hey, these things happen, whatever it may be, help them out a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's both. It's give and take. I definitely seek them out, understanding what they're going through, that type of stuff. But they've come to me also with questions about the offense, but also questions about what does this look like? What does our walkthroughs look like? What's the tempo of this? That type of stuff. So it's been good to have them in a room. We really enjoyed them.
Having known Coach K pre and post Penn State, is he different at all? Is he the same guy who recruited you?
Same guy that recruited me, 100%. I wasn't in his offense, but he was definitely the same personality and same dude that when he recruited me.
That's Carson Bruhn speaking last Friday with the media over at the football building. And, again, we didn't hear from Carter Moses, but he's a guy who was named to the preseason Mackey Award watch list. So really good group of tight ends like we were talking about a little bit earlier. It'll be interesting to see who kind of rises to the top. Could be an even snap distribution, but generally you're going to have one guy who's out there as a starter. You're not going to have 14 personnel, even though you want that. These guys all want that in all likelihood. But, it's still kind of an open competition in that room.
Jailen Butler and Leyton both said it. They said they want it.
That's true.
You said it's a 4-horse race.
Yeah.
That's how do you determine if you have 4 horses who are all going to be good? Guess what? Put them out there on the field at the same time. The 4 horsemen, but there's just 4 tight ends.
I don't know how the wideouts feel about that.
I would. You know how much I love my tight end brothers. We stick together.
We're gonna hear from wide receiver coach Terrence Samuel as well as some KU wide receivers on tomorrow's Rock Chalk Sports. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing from the tight ends. We're going to hear from head football coach Lance Leipold after this as fall camp rolls on. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. A lot of energy around KU football here in 2026. We heard from Coach Leipold at the podium over at the KU kickoff at Corn Square Friday night, and we also heard from him at Merconic Auditorium on Friday in full to talk about, in his words, the first half of fall camp. Of course, we get expanded media coverage the first part of fall camp and not quite as much. We will have KU Football Media Day coming up on Thursday, though, over at the indoor practice facility. So make sure you're locked in to Kansas Nation on socials and, of course, here on Rock Chalk Sports for all your coverage on that front. And then September 4th is the opener against Long Island. But let's hear from Coach Leipold at the end of last week.
Yeah, just getting in the stadium for the first time, what were kind of the main things you were trying to accomplish in doing so, and what are the key things that when you get in the stadium and it's had a new change, what you're trying to get out of it?
Right now, still being a morning practice, you just want to get in there and get acclimated to the surroundings. We've got a lot of new players in our program and an opportunity to be in there. Eventually, with lights and things, you still got to get used to picking up the ball, tracking the ball, and things like that with new surroundings. You try to get that. It's, there's always a little extra juice there in practice when you get a chance to go in the stadium. Play clocks, scoreboard, a little bit of that we were able to use on one end. Again, getting used to seeing those things and just we didn't do headsets today in the press box or anything, but just getting used to mechanics and things like that and try to make the most of it. The stadium's done such a fine way that we still have plenty of room on the sideline to get extra work. Sometimes you go in some of these stadiums and it's so tight, it's hard to spread out to do drill work and things that you need. We can still get a lot done with that.
What did you think? I mean, how did you feel? It's obviously a different vibe in there. What was just that first feel of seeing your team out there?
It was exciting. Again, I wasn't really sure. Haven't been in really any of the meetings on phase 2 to really know what the timelines and things were going to be. I was one of the last ones I was in. I really thought we were leaving the lights up the way they were before. So when they started to do that this summer or late spring, I was pretty excited that the whole lighting system will be there and be consistent throughout the stadium. That's exciting. I knew it would be a lower bowl setting. I didn't know also that the upper deck framework would be there to give us that stadium feel. So all those were highly positive. And now as they continue to put touches on it, I think for the situation that we're under for the season, it's going to look good. It's going to give us that atmosphere that we're probably, like I said, a lot better than I anticipated when it started and after the season. So excited about it, and can't wait for the day it's completely done.
That was your first practice in the stadium for fall camp. Do you know how many more times?
I don't offhand, Jordan. I should have probably had that for you. I apologize. I know we'll do a night one in there. We'll have a couple more, and honestly, it's very fluid. That sometimes if we feel with the practice format that we can get more done, or if there's a reason to go in there, we'll probably sneak a few. But remind me, I'll make sure I have that answered next time I'm in here. We are going to get on some grass as well to try to get some grass practices as well, with the third game being on grass, and school not starting, and transportation and schedules. It'd be good to get out, get over and get a grass or two practicing as well.
Quick things first. I don't think we've talked much about the nickel position yet. How's that going, and who are some of the main
it's starting to shape up. We just haven't been as healthy as we want there to really get it established. Guys are getting a little healthier. Jaden Harris was injured yesterday and did not practice today. We expect to get him back next cycle, but Kai Coleman has been healthier and has done some good things. Trey Brown's the one that's probably been as consistent and been healthy and been out there, and for whatever we call them, true freshmen yet, whatever all that's going to be called. But for a guy who just enrolled in January, the moment's not too big for him. He handles things well. He takes coaching. He learns every day. He's in asking questions. It's extremely important to him. So really like that, where he's at right now, and he's a guy that may have to play. Mason Ellis is a guy that can go there. Mason's gotten strung some practices together, and we go, but still kind of to be determined based on some things there, though.
Did you envision Trey Brown playing nickel when he came in, or were you?
No, not initially when we recruited him, but when he got here, we could see, that he could. I left E.J. Cannon out of it as well. He's kind of made the move in there. E.J.'s been a real pleasant addition to this program with attitude and work ethic. Missed a lot of the spring. He's a really versatile football player, and he can do some things as well. So I'll say this about the nickel position. We can move on. Is it's not that we don't have anyone. Sometimes you're grasping at like who can it be, and you keep searching. It's a matter of just finding the guy that's going to be the healthiest and the steadiest of the group.
And then Amir's been having more opportunities to play center and snapping. How's that going, and what do you think about how the offensive line could look in that format? How does it maybe compare to?
Well, obviously we're bigger with Stroh in there versus Carson. Carson practiced some today and was back, but Amir's getting some work, and that is definitely our responsibility is get the 5 best linemen out there, and if someone's not available in that 5, how do we get the next best 5 out there? And that's not a knock on Anderson Kopp as a second-year player in this program, because he's going to be a really good football player as well in his time. But we continue to look at Amir also at center. It's been good. It hasn't been as consistent as we'd like. Got to be consistent with snaps, and it's different and some things that we're doing. But when Connor Stroh and Tavake are at the guard positions, we're pretty big in there, and we can be pretty physical group. As we know, Amir's extremely physical. He's athletic, and so I like either unit that's out there, and we'll just have to see how it goes through camp. But will Amir play some center this year? I would definitely think so.
To build off that, at tackle, it seems like Calvin and Nick are the 2 guys there. What sort of growth have you seen from both of them just over the course of camp?
Again, the height, the length, the athleticism that you need in college football today at the tackle position, they bring experience, and starting to get more confidence on doing different things, having some patience. Again, being consistent with footwork in the run game as well as the pass game is things that they continue to strive for. But again, I think we'll have, we talked about it before. Jack Tanner's a guy that's played well. DeAndre Harper's a guy that is going to be, as we continue to go through this, it's going to be hard to keep him off the field. When he gets on people, they have troubles getting off of him, and he's versatile and athletic enough to play inside or out. So he's gonna continue to make his impact in this as well, and we're gonna have to find ways to get him some snaps. But I really like, again, where we're at. As I keep saying about backups and competition. Brandon Solis, the transfer from Missouri, continues to get better as well. So he's making there. So we got a lot of guys that compete every day in there as we kind of continue through this.
I'm curious, as you walk around practice and look at different units, are there any position groups or positions that you find yourself very intrigued by, or you find yourself kind of watching? Maybe you find yourself kind of going back to them, I guess, to go watch.
I'm intrigued at the safety position because it's competitive, and who's gonna really rise to the occasion in every facet that we need. I think that is to me. I like the potential of the possibilities at the tight end position. Of course, I'm watching our quarterbacks. I've went about all these different mixing and matching of the offensive line, which I always like to have that conversation with the offensive line coach during camp about who's our top 5, but who's 6, 7, and 8, so that we make sure, as you remember, I think Henry said it in something I heard. I was listening to that. We've made some late or mid to late camp adjustments in the past, where we flip 2 tackles or we move a guy inside or outside. And part of that has to do with what gives us our chance to be the best 5 out there, and we'll continue to do that. So that's always part. You're always worried about your health up front on defense, but I really like where the defensive end position's gone. With Leroy, Alex has missed a couple days, but David Santiago is a guy that's going to really help us. Dak Brinkley might be our best pass rusher, and then Garrett Martin's a young player who's got a bright future. So again, we're in a solid spot there. So again, I like watching kind of most of them as you go, but as I'm going, probably the one that I need to continue to watch and go through is where's it all going to shape up at corner besides Jailen Todd? Jalen's been very steady. Austin's been healthier as we go. Roman Pearson, we're trying to get Saeed, Jaleel Hurley. There's a lot of guys that can, and we talked about today's practice, which our defense played really well in the competitive areas today, had a really good day offensively. Wasn't our best day, was a little inconsistent. And for us, we've got to be a consistent football team to be able to win the tight football games and be able to do that, because our margin of error is not going to be huge, but we have a chance to be very solid. But it's going to be a lot of these positions who does it the most consistent.
And real quick on defensive tackle, Coach Manning has talked about Eamon coming along and Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
What have you guys seen from Jabril and Kevin over the course of camp, two younger guys?
Again, getting better every day. Love Kevin. Notice his attitude, his personality. He's a lot like Marcus in a lot of ways. When Marcus came here, he's very jovial. But he's a hard worker. He wants to. He understands that he's got to be able to be there every day and bring it at a physical position. But he gives us some quickness there. Jabril's a guy that. Coming from the D2 level, is learning a lot about the speed of the game and the importance of technique, and continues to come in for extra work about making sure alignment, stance, and things are there. But he's shown up, made some nice plays for us in camp. And as we know, we're going to rotate a lot of guys there, so we got to have them all ready. And I feel those guys will help us.
Yeah. I'm sure you're getting a look at the specialists. What do you think of the punting and the kicking units?
I think I think it's fine. Matt Gill again we don't do a lot of live stuff, but when we do it, those guys have been very consistent. Martin's been consistent. Dane, again, I think for a guy that's a walk-on kicker, gives us a good competitive situation. So haven't done a ton of kickoffs, but again, to see who will be the most consistent with touchbacks and things like that will be there. Like our, Reno as a long snapper is one of the best spark plugs in this program as far as leadership and attitude, and really is well respected here. Hollis Moeller is a walk-on long snapper who came into me and asked about thought he could be a holder, and so our backup long snapper is going to be our starting holder and does a nice job. And it's not every day that you have that combination. So I like our specialist group. They're going to be important. Taiwo, Aaron Miller, Kyle Deween do a nice job with those guys.
You're getting more on the downward slide of fall camp. What do you want to accomplish or see on these last days?
Well, I got 9 in. But, again, consistency of where we need to be each and every day. We've got to be able to fight through. It's been warm this cycle a little bit. We got to continue to fight through that. Some guys that got to kind of separate themselves if they want to earn that starting job. Some of these spots we've talked about, but I would probably say again to continue. We've been on a good climb. I want to make sure I emphasize that we've been getting better. We just have to keep the throttle down in that area, and as we kind of hit, as you're saying on the downhill, I think we're kind of hitting the middle of this thing. And as you're right, you end up pulling it back some. I think this new model that we've gone to with 3 practices and a day off has helped our team physically and mentally. Tomorrow they don't have a practice day. Tomorrow they're not in the building. So they get a chance to kind of get a separation day, get themselves ready to go for this next half, so to speak. But again, consistency in what we're doing each and every day in the small details.
Lance, real quick, Joe Deneen was in here the other day. As you know, he's a new father, and you've been through that. He said he was reading a book to his son the other night, and he kept thinking in his head, does Leroy know this? Does Leroy know this? What do you talk to those guys? You've had others that are obviously new dads and stuff over the years, and you've been through it yourself. But what do you talk to those guys about with this time of year and having to balance that? And how fun is that for you to hear him kind of doing both?
Well, I appreciate you asking. Today's my daughter's birthday,
oh, cool.
and my wife, and as you know, so if you think back to how many years ago, where was I on on the day she was born, I had to get, paged off we had pagers back then. It was paged off the practice field and to go. So it's hard because, as you know, around that, I've missed a lot of birthdays, okay, and a lot of things. But, we try at this time of year when we can when we can, get our coaches take their kids to school and do things. But probably the biggest thing is try to make sure that you carve the time out because it goes fast. As we all know, if you've been there, it goes fast. Ashley Wallace was just in with their daughter, and it's her birthday today, and came up and wanted to get a hug from Dad on her birthday, which is tough because he left the house probably before she was awake. And those are things that, as we know, it's occupational hazard of this thing, but it's part of it. But we got to try to be there as well because we spend a lot of time on everyone else's kids. We got to make sure that we're there for our own when we can, because it does fly by. And it's probably, I didn't say, we don't give enough to our wives in these situations for having to do both all the time and for what they have to do. So, but we got a good group, and I know Joe will be a great father. Thanks, guys.
How old are your daughters?
26.
That's head coach Lance Leipold at the podium on Friday. We're going to hear from Coach again on Thursday. Thursday's going to be a big day. We're going to be over at McConaughey Auditorium hearing from Coach Leipold, Coach Kotelnicki, Coach McDonald, but then going to go across the street to the indoor practice facility, KU Football Media Day, which was a lot of fun last year. And, we'll hear from all sorts of players. Going to hopefully get some exclusive interviews. We'll be getting some Kansas Nation liners, all sorts of stuff. This segment, by the way, brought to you by our friends over at Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment.
Yeah, Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. Be sure to check them out. They're outdoor enthusiasts. They're excited to help you experience the fun and adventure that quality lawn and garden and outdoor power equipment can bring into your life. They are the best in new and pre-owned Ferris Hustler and Country Clipper lawnmowers, Mahindra tractors and implements, Arctic Cat ATVs and UTVs, steel handhelds, and Billy Goat specialty turf products. They have a friendly and knowledgeable sales, financing, service, and parts department ready to offer you outstanding service every step of the way. Check them out at HeinenOPE.com. That's HeinenOPE.com. Hope. Nice.
Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. Appreciate their partnership. Hey, after this, Case of the Mondays. Dan will tell you who had a rough weekend in the world of sports. That's next. ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtright back with you for Rock Chalk Sports. Got to tell you about our friends over at Central Bank. Shout out, by the way. Their tent was directly adjacent to ours. Saw Mackenzie Chen and some members of Central Bank's marketing staff as well over at the KU kickoff at Corinth Square. A sweaty one out there. It wasn't as bad as you would think because there was some cloud cover. I was really worried I was going to get out there and it was going to be 95 degrees.
Well, it's on like a blacktop,
beating
right?
down. Yeah. Parking lot. They do a nice job. Obviously, they've got it figured out now because Prairie Village has been the home of that for a while, and they got the stage set up, and you had Big and Baby J, so it was a lot of fun and not too terrible, but it was brought to us by our friends at Central Bank, and they've got Jayhawk checking. Jayhawk fans with Jayhawk checking can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together. As the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. You can learn more about Jayhawk checking and the exclusive debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. JayhawkChecking.com, Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. Dan, Case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
Who we got today?
I wanted to start off here. It's Case of Mondays for the Cincinnati Bengals as they have lost one of their cornerbacks, Sierra Wright. And it's not due to injury. It's not due to anything. He has left the Cincinnati Bengals to pursue the lead role in a movie that he, quote, couldn't pass down. Apparently, he left the team back in August. He was drafted this year. No, UDFA. UDFA this year. We have our
August.
Nebraska insider over here.
I see.
Tell me. So Sierra White, apparently he was a corner at Nebraska, played at USC before that. Actually, by the way, if you don't know who he is, you probably do. He was LeBron James's older son in the Space Jam movie back in 2020.
That's
2021.
right.
Yeah. He was apparently they filmed it back in 2019. He was still in high school at the time, but he played LeBron James's older son, which I don't know why they couldn't just get Bronny and Bryce in the first place.
Yeah.
Like they had this whole thing about how family is everything and his younger son wants to pursue like coding or whatever. And like they just hired 2 guys to be his sons.
2 guys. What a talent though. I mean,
yeah.
Acting and good enough at least to be on an NFL roster.
I know. That's the, so they put him on the exempt/left squad list to pursue this acting role, I guess. So he's going to be in Hollywood, but apparently they're going to bring him back onto the team whenever he's done.
Hey, good for him, man.
Whenever he's done shooting,
having
they're
his
just going to bring him
cake,
back.
eating it too.
Shout out. Yeah, I mean, good for him, man. I mean, going back to Southern California, I would imagine, to shoot this movie. Had to spend a couple years in Nebraska and obviously his time in Cincinnati. But
former USC commit.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cincinnati, and this is something that's, I mean, related, kind of. It's related because it's related to Cincinnati. Kansas City Chiefs football.
Yeah.
They lost at Arrowhead to the Rams 20-12, and we'll talk about this more, I'm sure, tomorrow or later in the week. But how about all the dudes who played in that Nebraska versus Cincinnati game that the Chiefs then signed, the game that was in Arrowhead? Because you've got Cyrus Allen, you've got Jeff Caldwell, you've got Emmett Johnson. Isn't there one other dude? There's another guy, I think maybe a defense or special teams guy.
Was there another Cincinnati guy?
Well, Allen and
Allen
Caldwell were the big
2.
ones. Yeah.
Emmett Johnson also is a big.
Allen had an awesome catch, and Johnson looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean
he made a lot of guys miss.
He is going to impact this team this year. He's got that burst. He's like that quick twitch, seeing number 10 in Chiefs. I mean, everybody's thinking.
Is Kareem Hunt still on the team?
No.
Okay.
But I think he's getting 3 yards in a cloud of dust somewhere else.
That
but
is,
Johnson runs hard, man. He's not just a little scat back. So I liked him. But yeah, the Cincinnati receivers got a chance as well.
But isn't that crazy though? Like, I mean, I don't know. This is usually you see guys pursue acting after their NFL careers are over, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and let's see who. There's another one I'm probably not going to say, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess Travis Kelce did it, right? But that was in the offseason. He was in Happy Gilmore too. So that counts. But shout out to him for, and I mean, honestly, good for the Bengals for being like, hold your spot. They wound up signing another guy, and he's playing in the preseason right now, but Sierra Wright. I'm excited to see. It didn't say what movie it is. So, I don't know, but I'll probably watch it. Why not? Hey, it's Case of the Mondays for any other rookie who ever debuts for the rest of their life in the MLB. Joshua Baez. My goodness gracious.
He went 0 for 5 on Saturday.
He did go 0 for 5 on Saturday. But what happened the day before?
Yes, he had a pretty good game. First pitch he saw MLB career, 449 to dead red, rivalry game at the friendly confines. Then he pulled a homer to left field, and then he went Oppo Taco on the third homer.
Man.
3 homers in his MLB debut.
3 home runs in his MLB debut. I mean, that's got to be the best MLB debut ever, right?
We got to see
offensively.
Yes, that was he's the first player to ever hit 3 homers.
Wasn't there?
At least in his first 3
There was a
appearances.
hockey player a couple of years ago who played for like the Toronto Maple Leafs who scored 4 goals in his debut. I'm pretty sure that that is up there. Wilt Chamberlain did have 52 points in his first game at Kansas. So there's that.
What prospect was he for the Cardinals, Tyler? Is he 3?
3?
Okay, so
Wow.
yeah, expected to be pretty good. Is he a big homer, walk, strikeout guy? Yeah.
Led AAA in home runs.
Led
Okay.
AAA in homers.
Man, 3 home runs. But then 0 for 5 in the second.
Yeah, his batting average is down to 333. His batting average was 750 with a 3.750 OPS, which is pretty good.
3.750.
Yeah, which
that's insane.
leading the MLB right now in OPS is, according to Al Overview, Yordan Alvarez, 1.058, and he had 3.750.
Okay.
Didn't quite have enough at-bats to qualify, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, have a day, rivalry game. The Cardinals, I believe, beat the Cubs in that series. They won the series as they got the offense
I'm
going.
excited to hear what the Redbird Review has to say about that.
Have you seen the wild card race in the American League, by the way? It's just dreadful. Like, the
awful?
Jays and the Orioles are both like 61 and 64, and they both hold a spot right now.
Are the Royals still technically in it?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it'll be a while.
Good for them.
Royals won a series also this weekend. Noah Cameron, back. Complete game. 1 hitter. Shutout.
Yeah, but what happened?
Struck out Mike Trout to end it.
What happened the last 2 months though with Noah Cameron?
He's been awesome for the last month.
2 months. Well, he was bad.
He had
before.
a bad stretch, but he's been awesome. Recently.
Fair enough. I've said this. It's August 17th today. The Royals to me just don't exist right now.
By the way, make sure you're tuned in tomorrow. We're going to have David Lesky on the show to talk Inside the Crown, talk Royals baseball. What's next, Dan?
That's going to be the Let Sean Cook segment. Hey, it's Case of Mondays for revenge enjoyers. So this is from the New York Post. By the way, the New York Post is the funniest, it's the most unbelievable thing that exists. It's like pretty much the National Enquirer, but it's like an actual thing. This is a New York Post article. Arizona teen charged for, quote, relentlessly targeting ex-girlfriend with dodgeballs during gym class. He was charged with this. So Abel Shipper claimed that he never meant to hurt his classmates while he and his friends hurled dodgeballs at the girl during warm-up for the class at Mayer High School, about an hour outside of Phoenix. This is back in December of 2025. He said, I didn't think a dodgeball would hurt, and these are small ones, so you can squeeze them and they compress and stuff, is what he said.
Yeah, we're all familiar. The ones you take a bite out of.
Yeah, of course. But apparently he was charged with assault, and he and his 2 pals allegedly targeted the boy's ex-girlfriend, quote, relentlessly with dodgeballs during their gym class, which left the girl with bruises. Bad. Don't do that.
You're right.
But also it's dodgeball. Like, they're dodgeballs. How close were they? That depends. Also, they said it was before gym. So I guess I'm going to walk this back a little bit, because if they were actually playing dodgeball, that's way different. Then it's like, okay, that's just dodgeball.
Well, yeah.
But if it was like
Are they
before
not
class,
playing dodgeball?
if it was before
Right.
class, then like that's not good.
Do
And
we know?
apparently
It says dodgeball game ends with criminal charges.
Okay. It says the girl was allegedly hospitalized with serious bruising,
That's
in
awful.
upper right rib cage and lower abdomen, according to a police report. So yeah, don't do that.
Oh
That's
my
bad.
God.
Should it? Yeah, I mean that's
Yikes.
not good stuff. I'm just again, how close were they?
I don't know, but I mean, there's pictures of the bruises. That's
It's
no
not good.
I mean, all of us with a younger brother or nephew or something, we wind up a little bit.
Yeah.
But
There's always been those like
multiple people targeting. That's
yeah.
too much.
Have you were you nice at dodgeball when you were in high school or like elementary school?
Pretty good, yeah.
We used to play this game called the Gauntlet, where there were like high jump mats and like different mats, and they would put up like walls, and you had to run across, and there would be people on the outside just trying to hit you with dodgeballs.
Oh yeah.
And you would have to run and like hide behind these mats.
Yeah.
And then you would go and like
That's
get
a fun
flag.
game.
And
I've
then
played
come
that
back.
before. Yeah.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
No, I was always good at the athletic grabs. I would say the catches. I was pretty accurate, but not the most accurate thrower ever. But I was pretty good at like.
Sure.
Yeah.
I played in a
the best part is hitting somebody in dodgeball, and this is probably not good to be talking about in light of this story. But you hit somebody in dodgeball and then immediately point to them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got you. I know you saw. I got you. Man, I won.
Anyway, hopefully this girl was okay.
I won a dodgeball tournament when I was in college one time.
Huh.
We played at actually it was the South Genesis on the tennis courts. We played it out there, and we paid money. All the money went to the charity. It was like when that tornado came through Lawrence. Maybe it was like 2017, 2018, around there. But yeah, we wound up winning it, and they gave us a WWE belt for it, which is cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they also gave us
I
shirts,
respect
so that was fun. Hey, in case the money's for Aaron Rodgers. There it is. There it is. Man, we haven't had that in a long time.
Haven't.
So shout out to David Cavucci, by the way. So David Cavucci found this out. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers was paying to have like flock cameras put in on his street in where his New Jersey, I guess, mansion was, to like watch his neighbors, essentially. Yeah, because he said it was for his own privacy or whatever. But Aaron Rodgers is such an interesting guy because he's this big conspiracy theorist guy who's like drinking herbal tea in a cave out in Arkansas or wherever, and he's like, oh man, it's literally 1984 or whatever. And then he's like paying to have surveillance on his neighbors. Anyway, after David Cavucci came out with this. David Cavucci, by the way, Foyaball, great follow on Twitter. He dove into this because of the Freedom of Information Act, found out that Aaron Rodgers was paying to have these like flock cameras put up in his neighborhood to surveil his neighbors. And then that story came out, and then now Aaron Rodgers is selling his house in New Jersey.
God, this house looks amazing. I've just
Didn't
been
it
looking
look
at
great?
pictures ever since you've been. Oh my God, they got a perfect view of
Aaron
the New York
Rodgers is such a
skyline.
massive loser. I don't
But
like
he's
him.
going to sell this thing for what, 57.9% more than the price he paid for it.
Yeah, $15
3 years
million.
ago. He paid just under 10.
Looking to flip it. I'm surprised he still has
I mean,
that
this
house.
place looks amazing.
in New Jersey. I mean,
Well, yeah,
because Pittsburgh isn't like Philadelphia. Like, it's on the other side of Pennsylvania. So I wonder, he's probably paying rent on a house in Pittsburgh or something. But shout out to David Cavucci, man. Shout out to Foya Ball.
Good reporting.
He found out that Aaron Rodgers was like secretly putting in flock cameras to surveil his neighborhood. Not good. By the way, if you know anything about flock cameras, you should be very upset about this. They're bad. They're like very bad. Apparently, they're for figuring out, or just for like license plates for people who like run red lights. But then there's like cops that are using them to like,
I see.
It's bad stuff, man. It's
Not
really
something
bad.
you should probably have for your neighbors.
Yeah. Read 1984. Hey, it's Case of the Mondays for these fancy indoor practice facilities, softies. I got a great thing. So apparently this is from the Childress Bobcats in Texas. They are a football team, high school football team in Texas. They don't have an indoor facility, but because it was so hot in Texas over this past couple weeks, so they're obviously doing fall camp for high schools. Do you have the picture up right now, Tyler? Recruited by Fort Scott Community College when I was in high school. By the way, they no longer have a football program. They disbanded it like 3 years ago.
Rip.
But their locker room was attached to the rodeo arena, and the locker room smelled like actual cow poop.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
horse poop.
I'm
It
sure.
smelled horrible in there. I went on my visit and I was like, "Oh, is it always like this?" They go, you get used to it." I was like, "You get used to it? What does that mean?" You had to walk through the
not like
rodeo
jumping in
arena
a
to
cold
get to
pool.
your football locker room. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. Oh man! But shout out to them, man. That's cool. You make do.
We talk a lot about like nostalgia and being 5th, 6th, 7th graders. Maybe my favorite thing was football in the snow.
Ooh,
is that not the best?
So good.
I mean,
So good.
absolutely. I don't know what it was like. There are a couple core memories I've got of playing, in friends' backyards when that was at. I mean, just the greatest thing ever. By the way, speaking of this, it's Case of the Mondays for Tom Caron. Have you seen that? The Red Sox broadcaster. He basically, I wish I cut out this clip for us, but the Red Sox have a player, Masataka Yoshida. Did you see this, Tyler? The Red Sox were facing the Pirates. They had a rain delay. During the rain delay, broadcaster Tom Caron went on and said, we found out earlier today that Daisuke Matsuzaka has been placed on the IL with a hamstring injury suffered last night. Daisuke Matsuzaka, a pitcher for the Red Sox who hasn't played since 2012. He meant Masataka Yoshida.
Oh, no.
An outfielder for the Red Sox.
Oh, no.
It's a bad look. People are kind of having his back. He would correct it then later.
Sure.
In the same clip, but people had his back, say he's allowed one mistake. But yeah, tough look for Tom Caron.
Not good.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
NESN play-by-play announcer.
Hasn't played since
Tough
2012.
scene. Yeah,
man. Hey, I wanted to get to this because I want to know your thoughts on this. So, it's Case of Mondays for Dan Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky put out this article on ESPN.com. It says, ranking NFL quarterbacks by trait, best arm accuracy, and more. There are 7 traits on this, and I wanted to get your thoughts on what you think it is. And granted, again, we talked about this a little bit in the open about how he's with the CAA, and Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen are also represented by CAA. Arm strength. Who do you think is number 1 through 3? Don't look at the article. I have the
Well,
article.
yeah, you said this earlier, but I would put arm strength. I would put Patrick Mahomes at 1.
Sure. Right.
I'm pulling up all the teams just so I can roll through really quick. Arm strength, I put Mahomes at 1. Josh Allen.
Sure.
I would have up there. And you know what? I'll throw you a bone. I'll say Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Fair enough. Arm
That's
strength.
a decent list, right?
Arm strength. Number 1, Josh Allen.
Okay.
Sure. Right. Number 2, Justin Herbert.
Don't want that.
Number 3, you're going to love this, Caleb Williams.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Number 4, Matthew Stafford.
I don't know.
Number 5, Patrick Mahomes.
He made the list. Good.
He made the list. Number 6 is Baker Mayfield, which, by the way, has the NFL record for longest ball thrown. Then it goes 7, Drake May. No. 8, Joe Burrow. 9, Lamar Jackson. And 10, Dak Prescott.
A little rough.
Yeah.
A little rough.
Ball placement. I want to know your thoughts on this. Where do you think Patrick Mahomes would land in terms of ball placement?
Probably 1.
Probably 1?
Yeah.
He's not on the list.
Top 10.
It's Matthew Stafford at 1. Drake May at 2. Sam Darnold at 3. Joe Burrow at 4. Jared Goff at 5. Jordan Love at 6. Josh Allen at 7. 8, Lamar Jackson. 9, Brock Purdy. 10, Dak Prescott.
Patrick Mahomes not on the list. All right.
Mechanics.
Mahomes has been less accurate
just
past year or two.
in terms of mechanics. Where do you think Patrick Mahomes would land in terms of mechanics?
Probably 1.
Not on the list.
Stafford's gonna be on there.
Stafford is number 1.
Tell me how close I am.
Oh, you're gonna
Mechanics.
love this. Okay, so it's Matthew
No,
Stafford.
I want to guess. This
okay,
is more fun if I guess.
Oh, I will give you 1,000 guesses in terms of who number 3 is.
I
on
haven't even got to number 2. Number 2, Joe Burrow.
Number 2 is Joe Burrow.
Okay. Number 3, I got to get somebody out of left field here. Somebody out of left field. Bo Nix.
It's Daniel Jones.
I almost said him because it was too far into left field. Wow.
Oh, man. Number 6, by the way, is C.J. Stroud, which is awesome. Jaden Daniels, I believe, makes his first appearance.
Is he at number 5?
He's at number 8.
That would have been funny.
Josh Allen's at 9. You're going to love this. Decision-making with the football. Decision-making. Where do you think Patrick Mahomes lands on this list?
Decision-making, I'd have to give him, he'd be top 5, maybe number 3.
Yeah, he's number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9 on the decision-making list. You know who number 1 is? Josh Allen. The man
my God.
Who had 4.
So many red zone turnovers.
4 turnovers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In one playoff game.
He chokes, dude.
Decision-making with the football. Number 2 is Matthew Stafford. Number 3, Jordan Love. Number 4 is Drake May. Number 5 is Jaden Daniels. Number 6 is Dak Prescott.
Oh, my God.
Over Patrick
Brutal.
Mahomes. Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow also over Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts is at 10. Pocket presence. Where do you think Patrick Mahomes would sit? I'm not going to go through all these. Just I want you to know. Where does Patrick Mahomes sit in terms of pocket presence?
I mean, should be top 5.
He's not on the list. Yeah, it's number 1 is Drake May. Second, reaction ability. This one's not as bad. It's Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, and Patrick Mahomes at 3. But second reaction ability, it's got to be Mahomes at number 1. Rushing ability.
Allen's going to be 1.
Lamar Jackson is number 1.
Okay, yeah. Allen 2, Hurts 3.
Drake May at 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, I heard a snicker over there. Yes. Hilarious. Caleb Williams at 4. Justin Herbert at 5. Jalen Hurts at 6. And I want to pull this up. So Justin Herbert stats. I want to pull up his you know what? I'll even go here. I'll just go career rushing yards. Career rushing yards. Justin Herbert has 1,715 rushing yards. They both started the same year, by the way. So this is going to be nice to track. 1,715 rushing yards, 15 rushing touchdowns. Jailen Hurts.
That is more than I thought for Herbert.
Yeah, sure. I'll buy that. Jailen Hurts. Career stats, start of the same year, rushing stats. 3,554 rushing yards, 63 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And Justin Herbert is a better rusher.
And I get it. There's a lot of 1 yard plunges, but still, yeah, twice as many yards, 4 times as many touchdowns.
Yeah. More than
Orlovsky's doing his job, though. People are talking about him.
People
are talking about him.
That was the last one, but my goodness, is it? I mean, shout out to Daniel Jones.
I guess you got to switch it up a little bit. You can't put Mahomes in the top 5 in all of them.
Mechanics.
Yeah, that's bad.
Third in mechanics.
Decision making, Allen being one, is probably of all the Mahomes things, that's the most egregious thing on there. The dude chokes and makes terrible decisions.
But
in the biggest games.
Orlovsky and Josh Allen have the same agent.
Right.
So that's all of this is just CAA propaganda.
Speaking
literally
of
1984.
Large ESPN personalities, last one here.
Yeah, it's a case of the Monday for people with ears. Pat McAfee came out with a rap album. Did you listen to it?
It's country rap. My understanding is it's country rap.
Oh,
I have
even better.
not. But is it similar to, do you get a Lil Nas X vibe from it? Or?
No, I heard clips of it, and I would rather.
Why did he do this?
Money.
He wants
because
to silence.
He likes attention.
He wants to silence the haters who bag on him, but he's already got. He's already got.
What's it called?
Got it made.
Diary of a Polarizing Figure. Is that what it's called? I wouldn't say that Pat McAfee is necessarily the most polarizing of people. I think that the most polarizing thing is either you have a monkey playing cymbals in your brain and you think he's fun, or you think he's annoying. That's the polarization. Is you either think he's fun and you like watching his show, or you think he's annoying. That's how polarizing it is.
SB Nation said the Pat McAfee album is a, quote, train of diarrhea and disappointment. That's tough. But, hey, you know what?
It's not good.
He has his show. He gets to be a part of College Game Day. He's got an awesome fall ahead of him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's also the sole reason West Virginia
I think he's a new dad also. Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah, West Virginia punting legend.
No, but he missed 2 kicks in the backyard brawl.
That's right.
And they were number
critical.
2 in the nation.
Yeah.
And they missed
lost
the
to
national
Pitt, who was
championship.
unranked, and that was was it the last regular season? It was either the last or the second
season game.
Brutal. Yeah.
Brutal.
Well, he probably appreciates us bringing that back up.
Hey, he's technically our colleague because we are technically on ESPN Kansas City.
Speaking of which, hope you guys enjoyed listening to our Case of the Mondays. After this, we're going back to the Anderson Family Football Complex. Going to hear from a couple offensive linemen, the 2 returning offensive linemen for KU, Calvin Clements and Amir Herring, who we spoke to on Friday. That's next. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Jailen's Jewelry. Gary Jailen and the entire Jailen family proud to have earned the trust of 3 generations of customers. They are the jewelry store you will want to go to because they're going to be honest and treat you fair. If you need a chain or other items fixed, they often can do it while you are there at their store at 95th and Antioch waiting. They can do it very efficiently, and they can do it at a fair price. That's what Jailen's is all about. You need something timely, done right, and in a business you can trust. Jailen's Jewelry, 95th and Antioch, right in front of the big grocery store. You cannot miss them.
For the best that's yet to come.
We're going to go back out to the KU football building. Calvin Clements, who's expected to be a big leader, not just on the offensive line, but for the offense in general, protecting whoever the quarterback will be for KU. He spoke to the media last week.
Going so far?
It's been it's been good. I've definitely been enjoying it. I have a lot of time hanging around this group, and just to be in my 4th fall camp, kind of getting a rhythm of things, kind of know what to expect. So it's been a lot of fun.
There's a lot of shifting and going on, and people moving around to the right of you. What's it like to see those guys compete at interior guard and center positions?
It's good to see. I think having versatility is big time for us. Everybody competing and making sure we can find those 5 guys that we can really count on.
What do you see from DeAndre? Coach was just talking about him.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, he probably talked him up. He's been doing great. I think the work he put in the off season, his focus on his body, and then just his athleticism. It's all kind of coming together. There's obviously things that he still needs to work on. He's still young, but it's been cool to kind of see him progress.
Is that, you mentioned your 4th camp, and you know, you're a vet now and you're watching guys like that who not long ago you were in their shoes. Is that nostalgic for you to watch that happening? And do you let it get into your head and kind of enjoy that moment for a young guy?
Yeah, it's fun to see. And you definitely like want to encourage something like that, but when a guy is definitely kind of blossoming and getting a lot of encouragement, you kind of got to remind yourself, like find the guy that could be getting discouraged by something like that. Go, you know, don't just encourage that guy. Make sure you're spreading it out. So, yeah.
Calvin, you guys have gone up against the D-line now. Who gives you trouble, or who are your good matchups on that side?
Yeah, I think I've been pretty impressed with how they've been playing. I've been getting a lot of good reps against David Santiago and Leroy, as well as Dak. And I think Leroy always is pretty versatile. I never really know exactly what he's going to do, and just his size, it's always a challenge. And David Santiago has been working a pretty versatile kind of pass rush. So that's been fun to go against him too.
How would you describe Nick as a player, your opposite tackle?
Nick Morrow?
Yeah.
As a player, I'll say he's really athletic. Like, and then I see a lot of mental strength from him. Like, nothing ever really throws him off, which I love to see, that type of consistency from him. Very athletic and just always mentally ready in there.
For you mentioned you've been through several fall camps now. What are you still individually working on in this year's fall camp? Like, what's been your focus?
Yeah, I would just say my consistency, like minimizing bad plays and maximizing the good stuff. Just trying to trim out the bad stuff, identify it, and like just get more consistent.
And what's Coach Paulson maybe been emphasizing the most this fall camp too?
I think overall it's always like an effort and attitude thing. Coming out and being ready to play. Like, he'll never be frustrated at you if you have a good attitude and you're prepared to play. So those are the things that are always stressed. And then on top of that, just working on like just little technique things like pad level, hands, eyes, things like that.
With Coach K back, does that change much for you guys? Just maybe in terms of what he wants to implement scheme-wise or adding new things. What's that been like?
I wouldn't say it like changes a whole lot, but it's definitely been fun to have him come back in. Some vocabulary stuff changed, but you know, having him in spring ball too, so we've been able to pick up on it quick, and he's super fun to work with.
He's obviously done some fun stuff with offensive linemen in the past. Have you asked him about that, or said, "Hey, I can go online," or do anything like that?
I haven't brought it up to him yet, but I'm halfway maybe expecting some fun stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I trust that. You know, he's got our best interests.
Coach K said the offensive line has been meshing faster than any other position group. I guess, what's your perspective on that with bringing in some of these new guys? What do you guys do to kind of build that chemistry?
Yeah, you know, I think it's hard to identify. I think part of it is kind of having naturally just like a lot of great personalities that we have a lot of fun together. I think we do spend a good amount of time together, especially this time of year during fall camp. We get in after lunch, we watch film, which helps us grow together too. But I just think it's a lot of great personalities, a lot of nice guys that are just, they want to be around each other, they want to have fun. So.
Calvin, you've seen the stadium change a lot in recent years. Getting to practice there again today, do you ever take a moment to like sort of see what's going on, or do you just focus on practice? What was it like?
Yeah, you know, I try to, because it definitely is surreal. Like, it's been a while since I saw the stadium from in there, and today, with pre-practice, I was looking around, and it's definitely like pretty awesome to see. You know, you think back to the old stadium and just kind of seeing, like you said, how it's all progressed. It's pretty sweet.
Growing up in Lawrence, did you ever think that was a possibility?
I don't know. Like, not really. I don't know. I never really like this. That stadium is not what I would have expected. Like, it's above and beyond, to be honest. Like, it's like a pro style stadium. Like, it's beautiful. If anything, I would have just expected maybe a little upgrade, but no, we completely tore it down and redid it. So it's sweet.
Reno said yesterday that you and Cole Ballard are two guys that he's taken a lot of notes from when it comes to being a leader, being a louder, better voice in the locker room. What's it like getting to see him kind of take charge of some leadership roles on this team?
Reno? Mm-hmm. It's sweet to see because just his intent coming in as a transfer, some guys are kind of hold back from doing that. They want to kind of get a feel, but he was full steam ahead, all in to encouraging. And from a special position, it can be hard, like, because to find connection. But he's done a great job of it. He's very relentless. He's not afraid to confront, especially from his position. I'm glad we have him on our team.
Mm-hmm. And then what are some of those, I know we've talked to you about this before, but what are some of those leader attributes that you try to emulate? Maybe it's like you said earlier, about going to the guy who's not getting as much praise, but what are the biggest things you try to do?
I think it's building those type of habits, like understanding when to step in and when not to. But a big thing us leaders have been focusing on lately is Conrad Hawley came in and talked to the team, and one thing he talked about leadership is like you have to be a harbor wall. So when the waves crash up against it over and over again, it's not gonna Walter, it's not going to crash, obviously. It's not going to swing back. It's just going to be the same steady person every single day. And as a leader, that's kind of what I've been trying to do. Same kind of intent every single day I come in the building.
That's Calvin Clements last week at the KU football building. Now let's hear from Amir Herring, a guy who there's been a lot of chatter recently that he may be sliding over to the center position as he's projected to be a guard for Kansas, or at least has been to this point. But as Coach Leipold often talk about, it's the best 5 they want on the offensive line. Guys are going to have to be versatile. Amir Herring, we don't know if we'll see him at center or guard, but we will see him starting 5, the offensive line for the Jayhawks. Here he is. Last we spoke to him.
Last year during fall camp, you were competing. This year, you, I guess, more firmly ensconced in your role. What's the difference been like kind of this last year to this year?
Just kind of keeping the same process, really just, just developing really as a player. How can I be, a better leader for the guys in the room overall? How can I help elevate really the floor of competition really in the room? And how can I make guys better overall? Really, that's really the biggest step I'm really taking going into this fall camp.
How have you made that transition kind of from being a younger guy to being one of the leaders?
I had a lot of good really role models really in the room, really to follow behind. Bryce Foster and Kobe and Bryce K-Boudou, and it's a number of guys, Mike Ford, just a number of guys I'm just naming out right now who really has been like really a key part of really helping me, like showing me the ropes overall really of how it's supposed to be done really, and playing offensive line here at the University of Kansas.
When we talked to you in the spring, you had been just focusing on guard for a while. Obviously, the last few days have had you snapping more. What's that been like?
I'm just going to do whatever it takes really for the team to win, honestly. Where the team feels, where I need to be, really to put us in the best position to win overall. That's what I'm going to do. So really just both spots, really fine-tuning everything and just being, someone who can play.
Amir, how much did you work at center last fall?
I definitely have some prior experience playing center last fall. Definitely going into the season, definitely got to work on it. Coach A, he talks about, versatility, and overall just really just putting the best 5 on the field. Really when your time is called and your number is called, just being ready, being versatile and knowing your assignment and how can you best help the team.
And then when they got you back at center after not doing the spring, did you catch on pretty quick?
It definitely helped me, definitely from a comfort standpoint of like, okay, going in, doing, playing back center, really just at center, you got to command the offense really. Like you're like I would say like the point guard kind of the offense, like how the quarterback is, but you gotta, make IDs and make calls and different things like that and echo it down to the whole offense. So really just being, comfortable with that.
On that note, kind of chemistry as a center, you got to have that with the quarterback. You've been working with a couple different quarterbacks. What's that been like from a chemistry standpoint?
Oh, that's been great. That room has been really just taking really, really good steps overall this fall camp. It's been very competitive. Everybody in the room is really challenging each other and really raising the floor of competition within that room. So I just love to see that overall from even the young guys to the older guys.
You mentioned, Kobe, Bryce, they're gone. You bring in some new faces. What are some talents that guys like Nick and Connor bring to the offensive line?
I feel like we have a pretty deep room, honestly. Guys who's really going out there playing some good football, honestly, just doing the things that they need to do to put us in the best position to win. I feel like great guys off the field, great guys on the field, really just taking steps forward in their development and process has been the biggest thing, and I really enjoyed that within their time here.
What's the biggest difference for you personally with working between center and guard? Like, what are some of the challenges between maybe going back and forth between those two?
I just feel like just overall it's different elements at both positions really, but I'm open to playing both. So really just feeling comfortable really with both and, really just what the team needs again overall.
Have there been a lot of conversations with Coach A, Coach K, any of those guys? How often are those conversations, or is it just you show up and I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be?
I'm just really just trying to be in the best position for the team to win, honestly. Again, just overall just making, what they feel is the best decision for me, but that's more like for the coaches.
You have a close relationship with Isaiah. What's it been like having him? You're snapping to him. Like, what's that kind of like for you guys?
It's a pretty good, really relationship. That's my cousin overall, but he's taken some really good steps over fall camp. Things that he's really done well, and things is really just good to see him taking a step in the right direction in his process. It's a joy to see that, as well as like all the quarterbacks. I feel like they all have taken a step really in the right direction to put themselves in the best position.
Coach Leipold spoke really highly of DeAndre Harper today. What do you see from him?
Oh yeah, Harp is like a Swiss Army knife. Harp can play tackle, Harp can play guard. Harp can do a lot of different things really that's, unique. I feel like he's a unique guy, really unique skill set, plays very physical. He's a big dude. So overall, really, Dre's taking all the right steps really to putting himself in a position to compete.
The size of the offensive line really is different this year. Like when you've been in center, obviously you got Tavake and Connor and guys like that. What's it like having, more physically imposing guys around you?
I feel like that was a real big emphasis. I would say really our nutrition staff does a great job really putting us in the best position to keep our body weights up and giving us all the necessary tools and resources to do so. So I feel like as a program, we took a big step really in prioritizing body weights, how much water we're intaking really on a daily basis, and really just overall making the best decisions really food wise. What are we doing? What can we do differently? It's always constant feedback from the nutrition staff, the strength staff, and the players. So that's really helpful really going into the season.
Whether you're at center or guard, are there defensive players who stood out to you that you got up against?
I feel like the front seven has been good, been lights out. It's been guys. I feel like the defense really has taken a big step. They're really challenging us every day. Overall, really making us better, seeing different looks. That's the things that's gonna make us really better as a team, better as a unit. So really just they're taking steps from a year ago, and it's really good to see how they're attacking it.
Any of the D tackles you've particularly enjoyed going up against?
That room is a good room. Different guys, different moves, different play styles. So really just overall, I feel like that room is climbing and elevating. But as far as the room, they're all talented.
Big E seems big. How's that going up against him? Big E Smalls.
Oh yeah. No, Big is a powerful player.
Yeah.
He's definitely a big dude, strong dude.
Yeah.
Really. So, getting to go against Big, we're making each other better on a daily basis. So overall, that's really what I've looked forward to, really the competitive end of really playing and really just doing, going out there and really competing and making my teammates better and also myself better. So.
That's KU offensive lineman Amir Herring speaking with members of the media. Really interesting storyline kind of that's come about fall camp. This also happened, if you remember, Dan, late in the game when Bryce Cabledew and Logan Brown were both here, there was the thought of, okay, what's Kansas going to do? And it was, I feel like, relatively late. It was during fall camp where Coach Ekpalza said, we're moving Cabledew over to left tackle. Brown's going to play right tackle. And it worked great. And shout out to Ekpalza for doing that. Shout out to Cabledew for answering the bell and switching over. But that kind of goes back to what I was saying before we threw it to Amir. Versatility on the offensive line is something that's very important to Coach Ekpalza, Coach Leipold. And Amir Herring is kind of right in the middle of that conversation right now because he's a guy who's projected to be a guard, but now seeing more snaps at center during fall camp.
Yeah, and you're seeing more snaps at center at the fall camp just because of the fact that you have really one guy who's a true center in Cason Carpenter. And in all reality, you need somebody who's you need two bodies who are able to snap, and B, I think if you put in Amir Herring with all of the experience that he has playing in the guard position, playing in the interior offensive line that he did last year, and he snapped a little bit. I mean, I think that's a surefire thing that you would really be anticipating, right? Because Cason Carpenter, and we like Cason Carpenter. We've heard some really nice things about him, but let's call a spade, as you like to say. He was this backup on the worst team in the Big 12 last year, right? Now he comes over to Kansas in the one-for-one trade for Tyler Mercer or whatever. I I mean, do you want to throw your eggs in the Case and Carpenter basket, or would you rather have a guy who's been in the system, who has been under Daryl Ekpalsa, who has a little bit of snapping ability and played a lot of snaps from last year in real game experience, and that's Amir Herring. And again, you talked about the versatility, right? That's about as versatile as it gets. Moving from guard to center, it's a completely different ball game, right? Obviously, you're still in the interior defensive offensive line, but you still have to snap the ball. You still have to, you're not. Your double teams are going to be a little bit different, and when you're playing the center position, this is one thing that I remember from my time playing college football is the fact that the center is by far and away the smartest and has to be the most alert offensive lineman out there. And you saw that last year with Bryce Foster. I thought he did an incredible job last year, being that number one guy, being essentially, and we like to use the term quarterback as a metaphor, but the quarterback of the offensive line, where he has to be the one who calls out different things. You know what I mean? And being able to talk, being able to see different stunts and different things like that in the interior. So I like Amir Herring. I like his upside quite a bit.
Yeah, after this, we're going to preview TCU Horned Frogs, give a little record forecast. But, yeah, some questions to be answered on the offensive line, as is generally the case. After this, we'll close down the show talking about those Frogs. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Jayhawk fans, show up, pack the field house, and wave the wheat when it comes to money. Ameritrust brings that same energy. That's because financial well-being isn't just something they offer, it's why they exist. Real people, local decisions, a team that actually knows your name. When you're ready to improve your financial game plan, they are ready. Ameritrust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Visit ameritrust.org to learn more. Federally insured by the NCUA.
TCU. We are going to be breaking down their record
Let's
forecast.
do it.
I have a little bit of time here. First game across the pond over in Ireland against North Carolina. Bill Belichick. Week 0, August 29th. TCU goes across the pond, wins that game. They also have Grambling State, and I guess it's just Grambling now. I think they got rid of the state. They have Grambling and then Arkansas State. Again, they go 3-0 in the non-con. North Carolina gets cursed for the overseas curse. At UCF, I think that they wind up winning that one. In Fort Worth against BYU for their second conference game. I think BYU goes into Fort Worth and clips TCU. BYU right now, they're ranked number 14 in the AP preseason poll. They go to Waco. I think that they wind up winning that game. Against West Virginia in Fort Worth, I'm going to go ahead and say they win that one. They also host Kansas. I think Kansas goes into Fort Worth and beats TCU. I don't think that's crazy of me to say.
Weird.
At Arizona, I think that they lose that game as well. So as of right now, they have 2 losses on their schedule. I think they beat K-State. They beat Utah. They lose to Texas Tech. So they have 3 losses. That's a 9-3 season for the Horned Frogs.
6-3 in Big 12 play. Not too bad. We're going to continue this as we roll on Rock Chalk Sports. Hey, a lot coming up tomorrow. We're going to hear from a variety of coaches and athletes as usual here. Appreciate you guys watching us on Kansas Nation. For Elijah Schmidt and Tyler Brewer and Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying catch us 4 to 6 daily right here on ESPN Kansas City and kansasnation.com.